All right, we're starting on section 4. We did skip section 3, which was doing tangent lines to parabolas. If you want to take a look at that, you certainly can. It wasn't part of our lesson, so I didn't do it. Lesson 4 is ellipses, and we have the standard form of an ellipse here. Notice that this side over here is always a 1. Again, if you want to see how they came up with this equation, it's in the book. You know, it came up with there. Our A is larger than B. Our orientation is going to be, in the case that we have up here, we know that our x-axis is a longer axis because the A is under the x. That means that that is the longer axis. Wherever the A is, that's where the longer axis is. We know that the length of the major axis is going to be 2A. From the center out to the vertices is that A distance, and I'll show you a picture of it when we get to the bottom. The minor axis is 2B, that's the other direction. Our vertices are related to A, that's at A0 and negative A0. Our foci are C distance away, so those will be at C0 and negative C0. And again, I'll show you these. Eccentricity is just a ratio, and I'll use E for eccentricity. It's the ratio of C to A. So down here, we're going to talk about the relationship on here. So I'm going to draw me an ellipse. My x-axis is longer. This distance here is considered your A, and your vertices are going to be there and there. This distance here is to the co-vertices. That distance is B. So up here where I said the distance of the major axis was 2A, that's that entire distance all the way across there, 2 of them. Now our foci, we know there's 2 of them in an ellipse, and so we're going to call that distance C. Our relationship of A to B to C in an ellipse is that A squared minus B squared equals C squared. And we'll see that that relationship changes when we get to hyperbolas in the next section. Let's go over here and draw an ellipse that's more of that direction. And in this one, our y-axis is the longer axis. So we would have our general form of this one would look like. Notice that the A, again, the A is under the longer axis. So this distance would be A, this distance would be B, and to our foci, we would call that distance C. All right, these would be your vertices, this would be your co-vertices. Okay. All right, let's take a look at a couple examples of how this is going to go down. First, I want to sketch a graph of this ellipse, and I want to find some lengths of the axes, the center of the eccentricity. If you remember back when we started, we said that this side over here has to be 1, so I'm going to divide the whole equation by 15 to get x squared plus y squared over 5 equals 1. And I'm going to put that over 1 because I'm used to seeing a number there. And let's take a look at what that does. Since we don't have, again, we can talk about the general form, x minus h squared over a squared plus y minus k squared over b squared equals 1. We have no h or k, so I know that the center of this thing is happening at 0, 0. We also know that our major axis is under the y-axis because that's the larger number. So I know that the orientation orientation of this thing is going to be more this direction. And my A is going to be the square root of 5. And my B, square root of 1, is 1. So we know that if we're looking for our vertices would be the square root of 5 up and the square root of 5 down. I don't see that they ask for vertices, but they do ask for the length of the major axis. Major axis would be 2 square root of 5. My minor axis, of course, would be 2, because 1 on each side. 1 plus 1 gives me 2. And that's my major axis and minor axis. And the center, my foci. Now, to get my foci, I'm going to say, hey, my A squared minus my B squared is equal to C squared. Square root of 5 squared gives me 5 minus 1 equals C squared. 4 equals my C squared. C is equal to 2. So my foci are going to be running in the up and down direction. So I know that my foci are going to be at 0, 2, and 0, negative 2. And we also know that my co-vertices, my vertices, I don't know that they asked for it, but I'm going to give it to you anyway, are at 0, square root of 5, 0, negative square root of 5. My co-vertices are at 1, 0, and negative 1, 0. And I think all that we have left to find is the eccentricity, and we know that that's C over A, and we found C to be 2, and we know that A to be the square root of 5, and so if we rationalize that, we get 2 root 5 over 5 is my eccentricity. Alright, let's see if we can get to this bottom example. And we want to find all the same stuff about that one that we found on the other one. So I'm going to have to put it in the standard form of an ellipse, which is that x minus h quantity squared thing that we talked about, that I wrote earlier. So I'm going to put that together. And then I'm going to factor out my 3, factor out my 4, and I'm going to take my b and divide it by 2 and then square it, which gives me 1, which means I'm going to add 3 because it's 3 times that 1. Half of 4 is 2, 2 squared is 4, so if I'm adding 4 on that side, I'm adding 16 on the other side, because 4 times 4. And so then I get equals 12 over there. But I want to get that, remember, this side has to equal 1, so I'm going to divide everything by 12, so I get x minus 1 squared over 4, plus y plus 2 squared over 3. And so now I'm in my standard form of an ellipse, and let's take a look at how this one looks before we find all of our stuff. We know that the center of it is at 1, negative 2, and we know that our major axis is going to be parallel to the x-axis, so I know that A is going to be distance 2 from that. So that's a vertex. Distance 2 the other way gives me another vertex. And the square root of 3, which is 1.73, puts me a covertice about there and about there. So those are your coverts and your coverts. And so my shape is going to look something like that. Those values that I just found are not asked for, but the major axis is, so I'm going to write that my major axis is, of course, 4, 2 on this side, 2 on that side, and my minor axis, we said, was the square root of 3 both directions, so 2 of those would be my minor axis. We already said the center. We do have to find the foci, and the foci, again, that is distance c in here. So let's take our a squared minus my b squared, and that's going to be equal to my c squared. And so I get 1 equals my c squared, and c must be 1. So my foci must be distance 1 on either side of my center. So I'm going to put my foci at 0, -2. And I'm going to put my other one at 2, -2. And my eccentricity, almost forgot. Again, that's c over a. We know our c is 1. We know our a is 2. So I get a half for my eccentricity. And let's take a look at tangent lines to ellipses. And pause that if you need to. There's a formula. And if I want to draw a line that's tangent to this guy, well, I'm going to remember that's a 1, that's for sure. Let's move that back in there. I move that so it would come out to relatively nice numbers. Again, we want this to be 1 on that side, so when I simplify it, I'm going to have x squared over 51, y squared over 17 equals 1. And we want to do some plugging into this formula right there. So we know we have the point 2, 4. So let's plug in. We got 2x. We have 4y equals 1. We're going to divide both of those by 51 and 17. Okay. And then let's see if we can find the equation of that by multiplying everything by 51 to get rid of the fraction first. And so I get 2x plus 12y equals 51. Moving over, I get 12x equals -2x, or 12y equals -2x plus 51 divided by 12 divided by 12 divided by 12. And so there's the equation of the tangent line to my ellipse at that point. And that's how you would do that. And let's move up and see if we can get one more example in here. And I want to find, here's what's going on in this one. I have a point someplace out here. I have a couple of these. And they're saying that this is going to be a right angle to this right there. So we know that our ellipse in standard form is going to look like x squared over 25 plus y squared over 9 plus 1, which makes my center here at 0, 0, and my a here is 5, and my b here is 3. And so if my a is 5 and my b is 3, that'll make my c equal to 4. And if I find the slope from my foci to this point, we're going to say I get 0 minus y over -4 minus x. That's the slope of that one. If I do the other one, I get 0 minus y, 4 minus x. And if I set those equal to -1, if they're going to be perpendicular, I get y over x plus 4 times y over x minus 4 equals -1. And I get y squared over x squared minus 16 equals -1. So I get y squared equals -x squared plus 16. And that's my equation. And I think we are done right now. So good job.